Okay, so it's the Airbnb of commercial properties. San Francisco startup Peerspace helps companies and individuals to rent out short-term creative spaces for an hour or days at a time. This lets companies regularly change their work surroundings. A lot of times they can eliminate the need to sign those big 3-year big bucks.
I love this idea. Peerspace CEO Ronnie Chamis joining us now today to discuss his company's recent $1.5 million round of seed funding. I'm not the only person who thinks it's a great idea. Ronnie, thank you very much for coming in. Good to talk to you. I'm just curious off the bat whether there are some people who don't really have an office, who maybe have a P.O. box and work out of their home, but just want to give the illusion of grandeur. So they come to you and say, let me have an office space to entertain, a really nice one, to entertain some clients and make them think that my business is more than it really is.
Well, yeah, that's exactly right. Today, about 1/3 of the world's workforce is mobile. And that means that they don't want to be tied down to long-term leases. And so they need a service like Peerspace to get that short-term access to really wonderful spaces.
Ronnie, you just got a lot of money in funding, about $1.5 million. How do you plan to spend the money? What's next for you?
Well, we're going to go with 2 ways we're going to use it. Number one, on the development side, we just announced that we hired our CTO, Janine Johnson. And Janine is going to build out a wonderful development team. On the business side, we're going to use the funds to help us expand and grow into new markets and new cities.
Now, I take it you sort of do some background checks of the people who might want to rent out for an hour or a couple of days or a week or so. Is that right? Do you have some liability to make sure? Do you take on some liability to make sure that, you know, these aren't crazy people who are going to tear the place up?
Well, our platform has a built-in review system, and so we pride ourselves on being transparent so that anytime a host receives a request from a guest, they can see that person's review and make sure that they're a reputable source within the community.
But do you vouch it yourself? Do you take on any liability yourself in case the guy's a crook?
All of the transactions that take place on Peerspace are covered by a general liability coverage. So yes, we do make sure everything works smoothly and perfectly on the marketplace.
And Ronnie, LinkedIn actually has used your service, your app, correct?
That's right. LinkedIn, a company with a wonderful office of their own, but every once in a while it's really great for teams and individuals to get outside of the office and be inspired in a different location. And so on Peerspace, they reserved a photography studio, which was not being used that day. And the studio, which has beautiful natural light, and it's just a really inspiring space. And they had about 20 people there for an all-day team offsite.
Now, Airbnb, I guess I'm sure you've seen the press here in New York and in some other cities, has taken a lot of heat from some regulators saying that, you know, we don't like the idea of strangers coming in and out of our apartment building. Is there a similar problem for you guys or not?
Actually, we don't have that problem because our host spaces are zoned for commercial use, and thus it's perfectly within their right to license their space for short-term use in this manner.
And Ronnie, really quick, we looked at some of your competitors. Are you worried, though, that somebody like an Airbnb could say, what a great idea, and start the same process with you? They are a bigger name than you. Is that a concern for you at all?
Well, we certainly respect Airbnb. They're a trailblazer in the sharing economy, but they're really in the business of trips and travel. Peerspace is in the business of allowing companies and individuals to be inspired by offering them short-term access to truly one-of-a-kind spaces, and we feel like that's a completely different business.
Ronnie Chamis, it's a great idea. Good luck.
Best of luck to you, Ronnie. Thanks for coming on.